We are going to learn HTML basics. So we are going to look at text, links, images, lists and tables, container elements and structural elements. A lot of people who claim to be knowing HTML still they may not use all these elements in an efficient way, but here we learn how to use them for building a web page. Let's start with a blank page. We use head section to give information about the web page to browsers and search engines. Let us explore a bit in detail more. What we do, just we type an exclamatory mark and press enter. So whatever we got here is HTML boilerplate. Whatever they are required to define an HTML page, everything has been given by our editor. So this is called HTML or basic HTML template. We need HTML tag, we need head tag, we need body tag, we need closing tags, we need title. So wherever it is required, the minimal tags it has given. So it is also called basic HTML template, or it is also called as a boiler template. Okay. So boilerplate template, that's what we call. Let us see what do we have in our head section. Head section we have some meta templates, right? We have some metadata. If you get over, okay, you get information about that. By default, we are going to use English language. The first meta element we are looking at is a character set. Now, what is a character set? So that let us see now. Computers, they don't understand normal A, B, C, D, E, normal alphabets. They only understand the numbers, binary numbers, which are represented in 0101. Using a character set, we can represent alphabets using numerics 65, 66, 67, like that. First character set defined was ASCII character set, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII can represent or only represent characters in English language, but in world there are more than thousand languages. We need to represent all of them. Over here, different character sets have been defined to support different languages. So most of the time we use UTF-8. So UTF-8 character set represents all characters in the world, all languages in the world. So that's what in HTML metadata we see the character set name as UTF-8. So meta char set we are using UTF-8 char set. Below character set we have another meta called viewport. Viewport is nothing but visible area of your website or your web browser. So this is our viewport. Okay. So the information about viewport means the information about visible area of our website. Obviously on a mobile device our viewport or view area is smaller. In the desktop also we can reduce our viewport size, but let us come to our normal code. With this meta element we define the initial width. So here we are giving device width and zoom factor. Okay, so that's what all our HTML sites, whatever we build with HTML5, they have the device width. Earlier it was not like that, but now they are quite responsive. We discuss about this element in more details in future, but as of now please remember that we need this meta element to look our website more beautiful, like mobile, tablets, desktops, computers. In all the devices our website should look fit. So that's what better to use this meta tag. Okay, viewport content width equal to device width and initial scale equal to 1.0. I want to show you that we have lot of other meta elements. For example, type meta and start this meta keywords. Earlier we used to have for search engine purpose a lot of keywords defined. So we can define our keywords like HTML, CSS. In the past we used to define keywords for our search engine purposes. Okay, we can see them whenever we get a time. But these days most search engines, they won't put so much weight on these keywords because they also have been scaled up. We have another meta element to describe the description for this website, meta colon description, or you can write so what we can write is we want to give a description, right? Meta colon disk, so it will write, we can write a description of this web page over here. So what we type here, this will appear for Google or other search engines where they search for our website content or description. So this content, whatever we write over here, so that will be helpful for search engines to search for our website. We will discuss this in detail in our future, but now what we discuss is how to use text element in our HTML web page. Now let us learn about most common text element of any web page. How do we written or how do we write text in our web page? So for displaying text we learnt about paragraph element, right? So further, in addition to that, we are going to learn what other tags we have. So here I say I love to serve you all by teaching HTML, right? I put exclamatory mark. Sometimes we want to emphasize part of a text. For example, I want to emphasize this HTML. So I type M and press center. So you do one thing, you just cut and put your text in between this emphasize tags. Okay. If you want to know what does it do, just hover the mouse. The M element represents stress emphasis of its content. Whenever we want to emphasize some part of a text, you need to wrap our text within this M tag. Let us save the changes and see the result. So you see HTML, since it has been wrapped within our M element, so it has been emphasized. By default, emphasized elements browsers represent in italic. Don't assume that italics is only the emphasization we have lot more also. So don't assume that we can't change any style of our text elements. We can do that using style sheets. Actually, the emphasizing and the colors and styles we need to do in our CSS, right? Let us do that. Let us change the behavior of emphasize element. So let's do one thing. Let us define our style element. Style. Okay, you remember this, right? So M bracket begin, right? So color, you take color and you take color as red. Yep, you have red, right? And what else we can define? Let us define font. Let us define font style. Shall you take bold or normal? Let us take normal. Okay, and save the changes. So file and save all. Okay, let us refresh. You see, the style of M element has been changed using style sheets, cascading style sheets. Earlier, we used to have another styling element called I for italic, but this has been deprecated because HTML is not meant for our styling. Okay, styling and all we do with cascading style sheets CSS, right? So wherever you want to use italics, use EM. If you use I, people they don't say anything, but it's deprecated. Okay, please remember that. You see, when we use italic, it's coming only in italics, but the color effect is not there. So remember that use HTML only for representation and style sheets to give effects, colors, style, font, bold, like anything. So summary HTML is used to structure the content, structuring the content to be used with HTML, styling by style sheets. We have one more element called strong. Let us see what does it say. Strong. So let us type here strong. What does it do? This element represents strong importance, seriousness or urgency for its content. So what we do, save the content and let us see the effect. If you see, strong is nothing but bolded one, right? But remember that we can use the styling of any strong element also. Earlier we used to have bold element, right? So bold, this tag is considered as a deprecated one, but still you can use that. But if you want to change the functioning or the colors and styling, you can define your own styling component. So now we talked about styling elements or uh, how to define styles. Emphasizing strong, bold, italics. Now in HTML we have header elements. We have 6 type of header elements in HTML. Let us see how do we use them. Let's do one thing. Uh, let's use, so let me put this in the body part. I didn't see it was not under body part. Let's have the conventions followed. Here I type h1 and we write heading 1, right? And here we type H2, we type heading 2, right? And we type H3, we type heading 3, H4, heading 4, then H5, heading 5, H6, heading 6, right? And let us save this by pressing Ctrl S. Prettier has done its job. Now let us see the effects. You see the results: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So there are 6 heading elements in our HTML. Heading 1 represents most important heading. Heading 6 represents the least important one. Depending on our importance of the statements in your web page, you can use heading elements. Most of the people, they use seeing at the size of the font, and they use either H4 or H3, but it's not like that. We have to use with proper meaning. See, the styling can be changed in our style sheets, right? So headings need to be decided based on the importance of the topic, what we are discussing in the web page. So most of the people, they just go by the sizes, but the sizes, they can be changed using our style sheet. So please remember that. Ground rule is that every web page should have or must have only one H1 tag. Depending on hierarchy, you can define H2, H3 like that. So these headings are H1, H2, H3 are designed for whom? These are designed for search engines to know what is heading in a web page. If you just use all H1s in a web page, search engine does not understand. Search engine is a consortium, is an independent society like thing or independent organization which searches all the websites for a content. So if you want your content to be plugged by search engine, your website to be seen by search engines, then you should use proper head 1, head 2, head 3, H4, H5, proper heading elements in your web page. Let us do one thing. Let us have after H1 I say I put HTML like this, but after H1 heading tag we should have H2, right? I put H2 here, okay, and let me write HTML over here like this. Let me remove this. Then I write some paragraph element over here, P, and I write this is HTML class, right? Then let's say again H2, then we say CSS, right? Then I say another paragraph element, I say style sheets like that, and I say style sheets classes or style sheets class I write, and I'm going to delete other headings now, and let us see how the changes they look. Okay, just save all, If you see heading 1 HTML, this is HTML, CSS, style sheet class. So it represents a content, only one H1 element, right? Then H2 element, then CSS H2 element, this is normal text. So under this heading you have subheadings like that. So this is how we use HTML's internal heading elements to represent structure of our document. So this is called hierarchy, right? So to represent hierarchical text you can use heading elements. Suppose here after this we want to have represent one more hierarchy, so I say H3 and I say code, and I also say another hierarchy like H3, I say 1 minute, H3 I say exercises, right? Let me put E as uppercase, Control S, let us save the content. Now let us see the result. If you observe under HTML hierarchy you have code and exercise. So the styling, the structure, the heading element, this is H2. This is H2. Under H2 again you have H3, H3. So to frame out hierarchical content we have to use heading tags. So we represent the structure of our document in HTML using heading tags. How better you use these heading elements, the better search engines they search your text or your web page in their search algorithms. Next we are going to discuss about displaying special characters in HTML. That is our next session.